Hello everyone, welcome to the Commando Cast. I'm Andrew.
And I'm Mike, and today we're going to talk about the Galactic Qualifier in Seattle and the new RRG changes.
New RRGs. All right, everyone, welcome to episode 30 of the Commando Cast. So this last weekend, our week in Destiny was all about the Galactic Qualifier. So Mike, take it away.
Yeah, so I had a chance to drive up to Seattle Friday night, spend the night, and then have a full day of Destiny. The day started with a Trilogy Galactic Qualifier.
Oh, so Trilogy was first.
Trilogy was first.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah, and it was at 10 a.m. Actually,
oh, no, wait, that's the bad one.
I was okay with it.
Oh, okay.
Because with all the madness of the setup that I want to talk about a little bit, but I thought it gave Cascade a chance to kind of get everything really humming.
Okay.
Before the standard, which was everyone was much more, I would consider serious about. So yeah, the Trilogy was at 10 a.m. And it went until it probably took I think it took about 4 hours, 15 minutes, maybe 4.5 hours, which I thought was super tight.
That's a pretty good turnaround on rounds.
Yeah, and then the standard was supposed to start right at 3, started at 3:30 to give people a chance to eat, which I was really thankful for. So they were using a new software that I haven't used before, and it was called West Coast Pairings.
I've heard a lot of people talking about, is it Best Coast?
Best Coast
Yeah,
Pairings.
Best Coast
Pairings. Yeah, thank you. Sorry. It was really interesting because you uploaded your own list into it right off the DB, the what's it called?
Star Wars
SW Destiny. db.com, I think.
Right.
So you can upload it right like a text file, copy it, paste it right into it, done. You entered your results on it. You and your opponent both entered a passcode that you established prior to the event to log the result. And then when they did pairings, they would do the pairings. You'd get a pop-up on your phone, and you would look to see your pairings. You could actually just search for your name, and it would. Yeah, it was pretty neat. It would filter to, as you were typing to it. Very cool, I thought. I've heard that the same system was used in the MomoCon GQ the week before, and that's the one that gave them so many fits. But it worked flawlessly on Saturday.
No, I've heard a lot of good things about that. We've actually had some people pressuring us to try to use it at Gongai. We're just going to stick with Tome for now, just from a simplicity standpoint.
It is not free.
Yeah, I didn't assume so.
Yeah. But I thought it worked pretty well. So before I even talk about the rest of the GQ, I have to give mad props to Cascade. I thought they did excellent. I was texting with you that morning that I couldn't find the Destiny area, and it kind of looked like trash. Right.
I believe the quote was 2 classrooms and a bunch of plastic tables.
Yeah, and it was 2 classrooms and plastic tables, but I had gotten there really early because I had woken up at 5 that morning and exercised and stuff and kind of got myself ready. And I got there super early before they had a chance to set up, so that was not fair. By the time the event started at 10:15, it was about when they started. It was the tape. They had everything was tight and ready to go. There were the 2 judges from Idaho. I'm sorry, guy. I forgot your name. I forgot who they were, but they kind of flew in to do it. So they TO'd, and it was really well done. So yeah, big shout out. Thanks, David. Thank you, Freeman, for helping us out and being there. And he's a great ambassador for he also plays and works for Cascade. So that was super cool, to see him there and have him, work the prize counter. So yeah, that's that. As far as how it went, that's that logistically, it was very good.
Okay, so what did you play in Trilogies?
So my Trilogy deck ended up being Elite Watto, and a Sentinel Messenger.
Watto Sentinel Messenger.
Yeah,
gotcha.
I had been practicing with Sly most of the week for the extra focus, but just the Sentinel I found it to be pretty much superior in every way. Like
Sentinel, the Forsaken, makes your whole tournament worth it, right?
Yeah, so it's that was the deck choice. As we had discussed previously, we were kind of preparing for a massive bit of Phasma and a massive bit of a massive taste of Palp. And that's exactly what I got. Yeah. So it was all day long, like just different variations of Phasma. I played Elite Watt single die Phasma at one point. Like someone played that against me. Phasma Trooper, Phasma Sentinel.
Kind of a take on like the Piet Phasma then.
Yeah, I think so. But I was heavily texted against that stuff, and I really punished those decks all day long. The MVP of the deck was Mind Extraction, which I did. I couldn't believe it. Like, and every time I played it, people acted like they hadn't seen it before. Like, it was just one of those weird cards. Like, I hit it.
You mean mostly for Palp, right?
For Phasma. So
it's not that big of a deal on Phasma. Like, you just exhaust her and then use the power action.
If
right?
it's, but you basically take 2 dice.
Yeah, no, I mean it's
right.
But it costs you 2.
Right. Correct.
Yeah,
which in my deck, I was completely fine spending the 2 because I had money for days, right? So it really slowed down the Phasma player, and it allowed, and I got to keep ramping. I couldn't usually. I think there was one round where I played Mega Blaster and Mind Extraction. Like I got lucky. Started with 2, made some, played them both. So that was a really excellent card all day. I actually played 2 dodges in that deck, and I unhinged several Phasma players because they just don't. They're so used. I think we're used to playing Phasma in our standard decks where that card is not played. So you just roll out and you re-roll, focus, and
as many modifiers as possible.
Right, and it was like there was several times where that would happen, and I was just holding a doubt holding a dodge in hand, and I would just okay, I'll pass, and then they'd say, pow! I just color out of their face and hands start to shake, and that card was pretty clutch. Not pretty clutch all day. So
that's good.
Yeah.
All right. So any spicy tech decks you saw from Trilogy before we move on?
Absolutely not. Okay. There was everything. There was
just carbon copies all day
long. Like I thought I had the most. Actually, that's a lie. The guy who 6-0'd it, I believe he was one of the late night gaming guys, and they're from the Bay Area. He won, and he played Elite Watto, and Claudite. So he.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, he did not play.
Do you know what he was Clauditing into?
Leader,
maybe.
Yeah, I think a lot of times he was using it for removal.
You go scoundrel. You go
scoundrel or trooper if you need to. Well, you can't. Yeah, you trooper if you got a measure in hand. Droid if you have automated defense in hand. So it was.
But
really,
you can even leader him if you need the extra dice on. Actually, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Props on that one.
Yeah, super cool. And he took it all, and my deck performed as well as it was let down by its pilot. I thought
your deck.
Yeah, my deck. I thought my deck was very good. I lost the game against a Phasma Trooper, which was legitimately just I dead drew, and they just that deck could blow. If you don't get a good start, you're dead. So that one was not my bad. I played a mirror match, which I always suck at a mirror match. I cannot tell you the number of times that I've crapped the bed in a large tournament in the face of a mirror match, and this is the same one. I played Mind Extraction on Watto because I'm an idiot, and my opponent was like, he just played with it the entire game. So then I was like, haha, I'll remove your dice. Meanwhile, I'm spending my money on removal.
Right.
He's spending his money on killing me, and I lose. Go figure. And it was a great game, and he was a great pilot. Right. So I screwed the pooch.
All right, fair enough. So in the interest of time, moving on to Standard. So what'd you play on Standard?
Snoke Tarkin.
Good decision.
It was beautiful all day long. That deck. Let's actually. Can we toast that deck real quick?
Pour one out.
Snoke Tarkin, we love you, man. We love you guys, and we're gonna miss the heck out of you. So, that deck was bonkers all day long. I crushed soul after soul with that deck. It was interesting because the first game I lost, or the first game I won I was on 1 damage and I won, but I literally I destroyed him the entire game, and he made like a late comeback with like a lot of big rolls and the fist, and it was
what was he playing?
Phasma Sentinel. Yeah, so I just crushed. The one game that I was 4-0 at one point, feeling pretty good. I had one of those moments where I'm like, I think I can do this. like, this could be the deck. Like, I think I made a good meta call here. And I sat down across from Marissa from San Diego. Where is it? And her husband flew in from San Diego, and she sat down and she was playing Palp Watto. Mm-hmm. And I was feeling pretty good. I think I have a good matchup into that.
You were playing Mind Extraction in that deck.
I was playing Mind, yes. But 1 copy instead of 2, but still not bad, right? I did take out a Palp player that day with the card. So I was feeling pretty good. Round 1, I roll out Tarkin. I get the money and discard, like the mother load, right, of rolls. She looks at my dice. She does not remove the. She does not. So she took a bunch of resources on Watto. So she was. I knew she had I knew she was going to play something big. So I snoked the discard for 4. I took 4 cards out of her hand, and at the end of the turn, she played Force Storm. So I missed it out of 5 cards. 4 times out of 5, I missed it on my discard, and it was just a first turn. Force Storm is really hurtful because then I have to start controlling it instead of playing my game, and it was more than I could bear. So it was a pretty close game, but she ended up taking me. She ended up 6-0ing.
Oh, nice.
So good job. So that was my that's when my tournament was pretty much over, and I won my next game, went 5-1, and then I mean
5-1 is pretty good showing.
Yeah,
so
well, I technically finished 4-2. I scooped to my last opponent. We made it. He wanted the 5-1. I wanted the tokens, right? So we just
wait. What?
Gentlemen's. He wanted to be 5-1. I wanted the tokens. So I let him, rather than playing for reals, I just took the tokens and gave him the win.
Tickets, you mean?
Yeah, they gave tokens instead of tickets.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're like middle coins.
But prize wall.
Correct. Yeah, I wanted the prize wall stuff.
Gotcha.
I was trying to get a spot loss advanced training, and yeah. So,
thank you. I love you, Mike.
And then we played after we decided to scoop just for fun, and that was the first hero deck I had seen all day. So up to that 11 matches that day, I had not played against a single hero deck. Shocker, right? And then the last round I played against a hero, and he was playing Padme Leia, which I hate that deck. It's so scary. And I won. I won.
You should be able to make enough money, but yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I did. Eventually, I made enough money to where I was able to pay him off, and he stopped doing damage to me as much as I was doing, and I was able to take out Padme. Because the way we were playing Tarkin Snoke was with a lot of direct damage too. So it was trying to swing in with big gun sides and then do the indirect as well. So overall, it was super successful. I walked out with 3 spot glosses in two tournaments. I finished second. I finished 9-3 over 12 games. I was pretty pleased.
Yeah. No.
Overall.
Good.
So
well, nice job.
Good tournament. Yeah.
Yeah. Great. All right. So as we alluded to with the pour one out for Snoke Tarkin, the RRG came this week. So we will join the plethora of every single Destiny content creator or aspiring creator that has weighed in on that this week, but we can't miss it. So it came out it was Tuesday of this week, correct?
It was, yes, that's correct.
So Tuesday of this week, because it was right after Monday Night Dice.
Correct.
Right? Yeah. And interestingly enough, so on Monday Night Dice, I brought Snoke Executioners because I was expecting something to happen.
You're preparing the vessel for the nerd.
Right.
Yes, good. Smart.
So yeah, let's just hop in right to it, right? So I think the most impactful change to the overall meta was the nerf on Snoke. So Snoke now reads, he goes back to his original printed point cost of 1113, which technically means he's just removed from Balance of the Force. Mm-hmm. But he has now been errated to say, power action, deal 1 damage to another one of your characters to resolve one of its character dice showing damage, increasing its value by 2. So, and we've actually talked about that before in a previous episode where it really felt like Snoke was play tested as that. Hence him being at 13 to fit with Kylo and all that, right? So I'm glad to see this change. I'm also really glad they removed the point cost. It would have been very easy not to, and then just unbalance them later. So the impact of this, aside from Tarkin Snoke, like what's the impact of this? Well,
it certainly hurts the Snoke Watto Faust. Mm-hmm. Like variant, which
it hurts money ramp.
Yeah, money ramp. So we discussed a lot about how there's this unholy trinity of supports, and the reason why they were so bad was because they were so easy to get to. Now they're not going to be as easy to get to. I think it makes Entourage probably the best of the bunch now, because for a 3 cost that can make you 2, and with Watt you actually could conceivably resolve it for 4 resources after playing it.
I don't think I can argue with that statement.
Right, I think it becomes the best of them, but it's a neutral support, so I'm okay with it being the best one of them because hero and villain both can play it.
I see.
I think that was the best aspect of it. I was most happy with this change in Snoke, not only because it needed to be done, but I felt that it really showed that FFG was willing to make a change based on the meta, and then listen to player feedback, and maybe content creator feedback, I don't know, and players.
And then content creators are community members too, right?
Listen to that, and then bring a character back into the meta. And I'm speaking more about another card. We'll get to it in a second, but this is an example where they fixed the card, dropped it from the balance, and they've basically created a new character over what we've been playing him for, like
what we've been playing him for.
Yeah, right. Correct. Yeah, and I think that's super exciting, and I think it's a great example of how you can make changes to a game without releasing any cards at all. Like you can go, wow, we have kind of a stale. I don't think we have a stale meta, but I mean, if we were having a stale meta, they could have made this change just to give us a whole new set of tools to play with.
Yeah, that's fair. I think, there's a lot of excitement, and this is a good thing, right? I want to be very clear, but I don't know that the meta itself is going to steer away from supports. Mathematically, they're better than upgrades. Right. And one thing we didn't talk about that I wanted to bring up when we didn't talk about in the episode we were talking about, like why supports are better, is if you think about it, you can roll in your characters, get the value from those characters, and then play your supports. Whereas if you play upgrades on your characters, it has to go down before you roll your characters in. Right. So supports really, aside from like the whole redeploy thing, which we did address, the fact that you can use your turn to build into the support and then drop the support versus dropping a 3-cost gun before you roll in really gives them a distinct advantage in that they probably almost should cost more, and right now they don't. Right?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think originally with the spirit of the game was a 2-cost support should be better than a 2-cost upgrade, because...
No, I think they intentionally made him weaker because it stayed in play the whole time.
No, well, I'm saying you give up speed, though. Like, the early part of the game...
I'll give you that.
Like, there was an advantage of playing an upgrade on a character who could then pair that die with a modifier, roll it in all at the same time. Like, that was kind of originally how we played the game, mostly because supports were really hard to play at the time. But
sure.
I'm willing for a 3-cost support to be better than a 3-cost lightsaber, because it should be slower to play and to use. Like that's what we're giving up. With this change to Snoke, if it slows that ramp down, maybe it gives a chance for the people playing upgrades to be able to do damage enough to hurt that game plan. I don't think so. Like
I don't think so.
Not with Watt running around. He still has 2 money sides.
Right. Yeah.
And logistics.
All right. Yeah, that's fair. So I don't know. We'll see where it shapes up. But I don't think that this is going to like hearken the 2-wide meta, right? Like I don't think that's going to make that change. But we'll see. Right.
Yeah.
There's certainly combos out there that are possible with him now. Snow Kylo's coming back.
No, and I've actually had fun building new pairings with him. It's almost like I said, like having a new character. So
him at 13 points is him. All right. So next is Watto. The change on Watto is pretty simple. It just says this character's events cannot be removed by opponent's blue dice.
Yeah.
I just want to make a shout out. Like, this is so brilliant in its simplicity on the fix. It's just, nice. It's just well done game design. Like, I never would have thought of that. If I was the game designer, I probably just would have removed it altogether. And it's such a simple fix that maintains the thematic that they were going for.
It'll be easy to remember, too.
Yeah,
fits with the movie.
So the impact I think this has is not much, except that I'm probably not going to pack Dowd anymore. So when the meta first started, with all the focus that was out there, I actually wasn't putting Doubt in my decks, and then started running up against Watto. And basically, one of the ways to get that off or kind of make his dice do something is to play Doubt, or not make his dice, but get his dice out of where you want him to be was Doubt. So I started repacking Doubt, and now that you can essentially control him with your non-blue events, I don't know that Doubt is as good as it.
I still love me some Doubt. I love zero cost removal.
No, I mean, Doubt's a good disruption tool, but you have to be careful, right? Not doubting. Like, if you doubt it too focused, like, that sucks. Right?
That's the worst, because you just, you
Right.
just ate a bunch of damage.
So you have to be really careful with that. So I don't know. We'll see. I don't know that Doubt just auto goes in every deck anymore.
Right. No,
I should say again.
I think Watto, certainly this really takes Watto's power level down. I still think he's ultra playable. Like, I don't buy this he's not playable thing.
Well, his value hasn't changed.
Yeah.
And we talked about that 2 ago as well, right? Like, his value's like on par with many 14-point characters.
And that power action is... I lost a game on Monday night due to that power action.
Yeah.
I was playing Mill, and my opponent was out of cards, and he needed 3 damage, and he power actioned Watto to re-roll the die and hit it, and I was out. And that was game.
Yeah,
So excellent use of the power.
Fair enough. Yeah. So there was actually some discussion on the Dice Commando channel today about the usefulness of Watto's power action, because I don't like it for his dice.
Yeah.
I don't like spending $1 for a 50% chance of being worse off. I mean, I get it. When it hits, it's like, ooh, I'm in the money. But anyway.
Yeah. Cody from ABG calls it casino. It's the casino card. Like, it's like, if you hit it, you win. If you miss it, you just suck.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah. I think he's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it even the text even fits on his card now, like with it more, like it's this quote from the...
Oh, you mean because it moves it over to the right?
No, I'm just saying mind tricks don't work on me, only money. Like, that's the quote.
You just mean
from the thematic standpoint. Yeah, no, super good. I am again pleased with this. There are several people in our play group though that are crying the big tears today after these changes.
Oh. All right, next is Ayla Secura, Jedi General, who did not pick up the leader trait, by the way. I know I was whining to you about that when they first released the trait updates, but like, all Jedi were technically leaders, right? And then
her subtitle says Jedi General.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Like, she's actually probably the most qualified Jedi to be leader.
Well, and then I actually saw somebody on the Facebook group today. They were like, she's actually the only person who's even on her card leading. Like, she's actively leading, and she's not a leader, right? So I thought that was kind of funny because it agreed with me. But so I'll start out on this one. I'm really torn on this one. I'm torn because I think it's amazing because it makes Blue Hero it makes Blue Hero playable again, which is great. But like, mathematically, like, she's not a 12-point character. Like, she's way too good for 12 points.
I feel like when she came out, she was way undercosted. But I don't know, with these new, like, with the new characters, it is above curve.
She's still above curve,
but not near as above curve as when she came out.
No.
Compared to the
field. You're right there. And like I said, I'm torn both ways. Like, I'm glad to have seen it done. I am.
Right.
Especially because it really feels like with a lot of the 18-point blue characters, it kind of feels like maybe they were designed with her in mind.
Did we say what they did? I can't remember. Did we actually say what they did to change her?
Oh, sorry. So she used to be Balance of Force. So she used to be 10-13.
Right.
And now she is back to her printed cost, been removed from Balance of Force.
Right.
So she's not an errata. She's just a Balance of Force.
So all those copies you have are actually just like they say. Right. I love this so much. Like,
there's a lot of theory crafting out there to be done.
Yeah. Today's the last day of my vacation, so I spent a good portion of the day building a Mace Ayla deck.
Lightsaber Mastery.
Yeah, with Lightsaber Mastery. And it was so much fun. I'm like, yes, this is amazing. So I'm excited. Again, they totally, with just a couple character changes, created an entirely new environment for us. Not entirely new, but a largely new environment.
In that format, right? But just to back up my last statement, and then we can move on. Phasma 2 was not removed from Balance of the Force. So she used to be 10-13. She's Balance of the Force +1. So she's 11-14 now with Balance of the Force, right? So those two are I think her and Phasma are very equivalent characters.
And Phasma's now 2 points higher than Ayla.
Right. So that's why I'm saying I don't think, because I agree, I don't think Phasma should have been dropped, especially now that she's a leader trooper. Right.
Okay.
Right. Especially now that she's leader trooper, I don't think Phasma, I think Phasma needs to stay where she is. But the fact that she was dropped and not Phasma, it's clearly placating is a strong word, but it's clearly trying to satisfy the fact that Blue Hero is just non-existent right now.
Right.
It's clearly there is no math behind this. There's no value reason behind it. It's clearly just a meta call.
And Phasma is 1 gun, 2 gun, 1 focus, resource, and special, if I remember.
Right. So, if you look at these guys, they're very equivalent characters.
But Ayla has better sides. she doesn't have the third damage side. Well, she does. She has an indirect, right?
But
she has a focus.
It's not as good as the Phasma special. It's not.
Yeah, but her special focus is better than Phasma's.
Then Phasma's one focus, but Phasma's special is significantly better. So, like I say, I think they're very equivalent, and but that's my argument, right? They're both 10 health. They're both 1, 2, 2-ish.
So
with some flipping.
You think they threw Blue Hero a bone?
Yes.
Okay. That's fair enough. Yeah, it's
brought it home.
Okay. All right.
So I'm just saying I don't think there was any other reason this was done other than just to basically satisfy the fact that people were sad that Blue Hero. So and that supports Mike's comment of they're really listening to people and trying to satisfy the community, which I could go either way on, right? Sometimes the community is not the best game designer, right?
No, you're right. I think in this case they listened, and I think they made a good call. Who doesn't want to, if we were going to have a new player event again in the next month or two, we want to be able to slap down some lightsabers.
Absolutely.
And then at the end of the game not have to explain to them that entire deck is booty because it's not 3 wide villain supports.
Right.
So I am a huge fan of the change and of the overall idea and the policy of putting her back to create a new space again for Blue Hero. So I'm a big fan. Mike approved.
Yep. All right, next one. So, little bit of a difference on this one, right? So, no answer has not been eroded. And I texted, when I was putting the slides together for today's show, I texted Mike and I was like, wait, I thought no answer got nerfed. And he's like, it did, moron. And I'm like, no, I know, but it's not in the article. So, actually, you have to go to page 28 of the RRG. It's actually a clarification, which I think is a really, really, really cruddy way of doing business because that's basically saying, no. We weren't wrong. We didn't design the car wrong. You all were just reading it wrong.
Right. Yes. It was. You guys couldn't figure out that there's supposed to be a then there. Come on.
Is a bunch of BS. Right. So anyway, no answer now has a then. So it's discard a card from opponent's hand. Then, if that opponent has no cards in deck, discard the top 3 cards. Right. Meaning that the only way that you get to discard the top 3 cards is if you did successfully discard the last card from your opponent's hand. So it makes it way significantly less functional. The deja vu play is gone. Right. No more villain mill.
Yeah, villain mill probably takes the worst of this.
Which is fine.
Right? That deck was cancer. Oh my gosh, that was the worst. So I'll give you a little hot... Actually, I'm going to parrot a very hot take from some other people that I spoke to and listened to today. I actually think that no answer is better strategically now, because if you knew I was playing mill and you suspected I had a no answer, there was no decision point on what you were going to do. It was like, do I go down to 1 card and lose it in 3 cards, or do I discard to reroll and then lose 3 cards? Right.
I see what you're saying.
Now there's this specter of I have 2 cards.
But you mean from a game state, not from a person playing mill standpoint.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay, I got you.
I think strategically, I think it is now a more interesting card because the mere specter of it, of you, the only way it's usable now is if you have 1 card in your hand, right? So you as my opponent, do you keep 2 cards in your hand? With the idea of avoiding playing around the no answer, and then what if I, as a mill player, suspect that and I don't even run no answer in my mill deck?
Right.
So I think this is, aside from a clarification, I think it's actually a more strategic card now. It's a more interesting card. So I'm
well. It's good that you now understand that since it's been clarified.
Correct. Yes. Oh my gosh. I can't believe that I didn't infer a then statement in there because we've done that so many times.
So anyway, enough dogging on them for that one. We've clarified for you all. Anyway, so yeah, I was kind of thinking the same. I don't know that Jin Cassian plays this, right? I don't know, because Jin Cassian would have to discard down and then. So I don't know. It's very tricky.
Jin Cassian I don't feel like it gets a big enough chunk out of your hand to effectively run this.
That's kind of where I'm going. It's like I think a lot of times they're either at 2 cards or you get like the roll in where you get 3 discards and you just take them all, right?
Leia loves this card still.
Yeah, with her 2 side.
Right, because she doesn't care. Right. I was playing the Leia lore deck on Monday night, and that deck routinely. What is the other arrow? What are you pointing at?
Oh, the other arrow was going to be linking it in. Oh. Don't worry about it.
No, sorry. Anyway,
there's no arrow there.
Yeah, sorry, there's no arrow there. The Leia Lore Senteca deck where you routinely get 3 cards, right? So I hit you for 3. Now you're playing with 2 cards, right? So,
but there's still the thought process there, right?
Yeah,
but now I'm not ever pitching to reroll, basically. Or I'm not, because then I'm trapped at 1. So yeah, it's interesting. All right, so anyway, enough.
So very cool. I like this change. I think it takes a lot of the oppression out of the card, but adds interest.
All right, so now we're going to go to what is perhaps the most controversial one. Not on my side. I think it was fantastic, but there's a lot of people out there pretty angry about this one. So, Force Storm has been errated. It now says, still blue character only, thank goodness, but special, exhaust this upgrade to place 1 resource on it. Deal damage to a character equal to the number of resources on this upgrade. Reroll this die instead of removing it.
Is this the actual wording right from the RRG?
This is copy pasted from the RRG.
Okay. Yeah. So, yay.
Yeah. I mean, it's.
I would like to point something out, though.
Go ahead.
So, I think when I originally read this yesterday, I thought the wording of the card was that you could only add a resource and roll it back in if it wasn't exhausted.
No, it's just not what the card says. You can only charge it up on. You can only charge it up once per turn.
So they still leave in the option of you.
Oh, you can still take. So if they get it in turn 1, you could still win the game. You just have to roll in like 23 times.
Right, and I think that is cool. Like I think that's better. Like because it still allows some of those fun swingy plays, and Palp can maybe make a big comeback if he's on the 2 resource side and he just hits it, 4 or 5 times in the same round.
I think this was my proposed fix to this, and you and I talked about, we hadn't done it on stream, but Mike and I talked in person about it. My proposed, if I was like Jeremy, what I would have done is I would have exhausted it to roll it back in, so that you get 1 roll in, 1 roll back in, right? And I think that his change again is better because. Like, if you're the person who's angry right now because you spent $40 on the card and it's no longer usable, this change was better for you than only being able to roll it in 1 time, even though it got better.
Right, yeah.
Right?
This isn't as bad as it could have been.
You can still have your chain lightning go off, right? So I think this is a well-designed change. It was a needed change. Like, this is an NPE. Like, this is the definition of an NPE, right?
And I think it's really going to make people realize that card has 6 bonker sides that you should not be sad about resolving.
I have so many times seen people pick up a 3 and re-roll it because
it didn't hit the special.
Right. And you're like,
yeah, that's crazy.
So
talk.
I mean, that 3 gun's looking pretty good right now. So I mean, don't get me wrong, getting the chain off is game winnable. But
all right, well, good change. I agree.
Yeah. So that is actually it for the RRG changes. 5 simple changes. I mean, I think there were actually some more red highlights. Like, they finally put in, like, Uneti Force Tree and all the other ones that we already knew about. Right?
Yeah, they kind of cleaned it up a bit. So,
but, yeah, that's pretty much it. So, do you think the meta, what do you think happens with the meta, just real quick?
Oh, I think we are in one of the golden ages that I think we're about to enter. That is a strong statement. Into another one of our, we've had them before, but this is really, I listen to a lot of the other content creators who are much more competitive than we are, and they have been really bored. Creatively, they've been bored. Our local.
Well, we could try to stop breaking the game on day 2. Right, out there.
But locally, we've been much slower at breaking the game, but we're to that point now. So I think this, for those folks, really helps with giving us a whole nother environment to play in. It seriously, it's going to change everything. I think what's going to happen, I think Vader becomes big time trouble. Not trouble, he's a great character. But Because he doesn't have to contend with Snoke and Tarkin, which was a really bad matchup for him.
That was a really bad matchup for him. Yeah.
He doesn't have to worry about vehicle ramp like as much. Still, there's some in there, but not as much.
But most of the vehicle wides are vehicle ramp. I don't know. If you're a dead man, like forget.
Yeah, but I mean, like the problem with that is they eventually they just overwhelm him, with that stuff. So I think that deck goes back to being one of the top 3 decks in the meta. Phasma is really good. Phasma is the best to me. Like Phasma, whatever you want.
Oh, you mean 21-point Phasma?
21-point Phasma becomes the premier deck.
Phasma's pretty good. I know you're really hot to trot on Phasma Sentinel
Messenger. Yeah. And I also think, I've seen it a lot in different discords and whatnot, but Aphra becomes super strong again.
That's interesting. Yeah, we'll have to see if she pops up again. I feel like she's been underperforming where she should be. So we'll see where she goes.
Yeah. So I think it's a good
question I have for you. So Monday Night Dice, we were going to do a theme event on Monday. Correct. Are you changing that because of the new errata?
We'll do theme this week. With the new errata, so the new errata will be in effect. Right. We'll just go back to standard for a couple weeks because we'll have new things to experiment with. So the reason that we even did the limited standard to begin with was because of these cards being out of hand. And now that they made this change, we can go back to doing that. And if we notice a problem, which I don't think we will. I don't. Mm-hmm. I mean, I spent a lot of time thinking about this game, and I don't see any more trouble, unbalanced trouble.
Yeah, but we're not generally the ones who break the game the first time, right? So, sure. All right. So we will talk about all of the mini spoilers next week. Again, Mike and I have a pattern of we're not super hot to trot about getting spoilers out 15 minutes after because the set's not releasing for a while yet. So.
Yeah, we might even have more. I don't know.
Oh, probably. By the time we get to it, probably right. So. All right, so we talked about this week in Destiny a bit. What else do you have going on?
I'm going to be a little light on playing this week. Real quick, I just want to make a couple just thank you to everyone in Washington again for being so kind to me. I met even more cool people. We have known Monk like through correspondence.
I haven't met him face to face yet.
Yeah, so
just video.
An opportunity to actually sit and talk and
who was taller?
Josh with him. With his hair, he is taller. That's all I'll say.
I love it.
Yeah. I tell you what, I'm not going to be doing any push-up contests with Monk anytime soon. That is not going to happen. That's
not surprising.
Right? He's pretty tight. So, met Monk. It was awesome. A lot of the other people that I've already been friends with, I was a chance to kind of get together. When you first meet somebody, like there's always that initial, like you kind of fill each other out. And then when you hang out with them the second time and you drink beer, I did that with the Dice of Failure guys. Mm-hmm. And I really kind of count them as my friends now, and that's really cool. My favorite story, my favorite people I met, just because it was so odd, is there's 2 guys, Curtis and David from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada.
Nice.
Who flew in for the GQ in Seattle, and I've met David before at other stuff. I didn't realize I knew he wasn't from the area because he has like super Canadian accent. So these guys though love the game. They're on an island. They have a 4-man meta that they keep going, and I tell you what, they're no freaking joke. Like the Saskatchewan meta is lit, yo. I'm not playing around. So it was nice meeting everybody, and thank you, and I hope I get a chance to play and work with everybody again. So
yeah, I'm pressing Wyatt really hard to like get those guys down here, and we can do like a crossover episode.
Yeah,
pushing them real hard.
So. That's funny. Zach, we were talking. He's like, we should get together and do like a versus. Game where we record like maybe a 3-on-3 or a 2-on-2
okay.
Put it out there and yuck it up over a microphone, which I think would be fantastic.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, well guys, challenge issues. Right. So great. All right, so hey, if you like what we're doing here, please give us that like and subscribe. Do you remember the bell and the subscribe button are 2 different things? We see a lot of times people commenting on the videos who aren't subscribers and didn't even realize they weren't. So make sure that little subscribe button is grayed out. Anything else to say?
Go Commando.
Go Commando.